We back. We back. Coming to you live with this message from the Japanese Communist Party. And love speak. What an incredible surprise to see a fellow button masher in the chat. You're surprising me. That's not how this works. When I see a button masher, I hit him with a trick wave. And yes, it is Surprising Saturday. We are only doing surprising shit. We're only doing things that we've never done on stream before. So that includes opening with a very chill lo-fi mix that is not WoW related. This includes starting an hour earlier than usual. This includes a very, frankly, appealing message from the Japanese Communist Party. Yes, if you work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, you should be entitled to a life of dignity. What a concept. It's good to be back. It is good to be here for a surprising Saturday, and we're going to just kick things off straight away. You don't even know which way I'm going to move, because I'm also not wearing what I usually wear. This is the rarely ever worn dark blue top with the light blue pants out of my 4 cozy stream uniforms. I have never worn this one before. So that is also surprising. You don't know which way I'm going to move. The way I'm going to move, I'm going to go to the friggin' Blasted Lands, bro. I'm going to go to the Blasted Lands. Because I got some time-walking bosses to kill. I've been feeling an itch in the back of my World of Warcraft brain to want to get back into dabbling in some tanking. I've been feeling that really weird itch, the weirdest of itches, the tanking itch. And to do so, I want to make sure that my monk has the new high-def Tier 2 recolor. I want him to be in his finest monkery. And so I need 18 more bronze tokens. And I do still have that quest, right? I sure do. The originals. We'll get ourselves 3 little tokens from this guy. And in fact, fuck the Blasted Lands. Let's actually go to Duskwood. Because it's been so long since I had an occasion to level a character in the old world that I completely forgot there's one of the many Dragons of Nightmare right here, just a stone's throw away from Stormwind. Never closer, now that skywriting allows you to go 3 times faster than before. Emerus! Yes! And then I instantly die. But that's okay. I got the tap. I got the tap. We count those. We count those. I probably should have turtled after I landed and got the tap, in retrospect. But what's important is I got some damage on target. Got credit for the kill. There we go. An original achievement. Especially embarrassing that I forgot that this is where Emerus hung out, because I indeed did this boss when it was current content 20 years ago. In fact, I actually used to wear these exact boots 20 years ago. That's actually kind of crazy. Never done that on stream before. Now off to the friggin' Blasted Lands. And now there is one thing we're going to be doing tonight that we have done on stream before. We've got a lot of stuff I still want to watch. With all my try-hard content lately, where I've had to focus on not sucking shit at the game, I have regrettably found myself, occasionally, embarrassingly, falling behind on stuff I want to watch and opine on. I got a lot of sick freak predilections. Where is it?
This is insane, dude.
No, that's not it.
These people are perverts.
There we are. Yeah, I got a lot of sick, perverted things about me. I like to pug Mythic Plus. I like that shit. And I also like to opine on things that I watch and yap into the microphone. In fact, very often the things that I will watch are of people themselves opining and yapping. I think this is something that happens to the male brain, especially once you get to a certain age. Because I can remember when I was younger, a lot of my male family members that are about my age now were really into talk radio. You know, they really like to listen to people talking about things. And I was always like, man, this shit sucks. Can we put on like some Pearl Jam or something? Like, I do not want to be hearing people yap about the economy. But now that I'm damn near 40, not only do I want to watch people yap about the economy, ideally while they're doing something else like weightlifting at the same time, that's fucking awesome. I then want to be able to pause the video and provide my own commentary, which I actually do whether I'm on stream or not. I've actually had some people ask me, like, how do you decide what to watch on stream? And the simple answer is, if I know it's a video where I'm going to be, even if I'm not streaming, talking at the monitor while the video plays, because I won't be able to help myself, that's what I watch on stream. There are some things that I watch that are like there strictly to have something on while I'm like folding laundry or making the bed. But if I'm going to watch something where I'm going to be yapping, I'm going to capture that on film, 100%. Film? Captured on camera. That's probably better. Fastest way to Ashara from here. Legion Dalaran, maybe? I feel like it's probably Legion Dalaran. We don't want to use our regular Hearthstone because we want to be able to hearth back once we get this last boss, so we can turn in the quest. Because we got something coming up at 7 p.m. that we got to be ready for. What is it? It's a frickin' surprise. What do you think it is? Don't even ask me that question. What is it? Like it's not surprising Saturday. You're gonna have to wait and see. It's gonna be a surprise. But otherwise, I do think, much like my sweet boy Bernard, who has returned to napping in the cozy spot, and yes, he's now spent the night inside 2 days in a row. I think much like my boy Bernard, I've been fighting some kind of sickness or ennui. You know, I can't really put my finger on it all the way. Wait, where am I trying to go? I'm trying to go to Darnassus. What am I doing? I'm trying to go to Darnassus. That's probably the fastest way for me to get there. But I've been feeling a little sicky poo. Not to where you're like actually sick, but anyone who has felt this way will understand this feeling. Do I not remember where the Darnassus portal is? That's entirely possible. It's been a while since I've taken it. Because it dumps you on the shore. Is it a... No, it's not a toy. Well, search me. I actually forgot where the Darnassus portal is. I'm going to answer that question for myself right now. Where is the portal to Darnassus? In Stormwind. Oh, there isn't one. I guess my brain just made that up because it hoped that there would be one. Nice to know we got 2 portals to the Exodar, though. One in Borealis and one in Stormwind. And I do genuinely hope that when Midnight comes out, the next WoW expansion, where they're going to be apparently centering it around Quel'Tha Loss, which is, of course, much like the Exodar, still stuck in a 17-year-old expansion. I hope they're going to give a similar revamp to the Azure Mistile and the Blood Mistile, and finally integrate them into the rest of the world, rather than keeping them siloed off in their Burning Crusade area, where you can't fly, you can't buy liquor after 7 p.m. This stuff has to change. And I think Midnight's going to be the expansion to do it. But yes, we're going to scratch Azure Ghosts off our list. The boat's over here, right? We're going to scratch Azure Ghosts off our list. I have not been here in quite some time. But as I recall, the town is over here. Yes. We're going to scratch Azure Ghosts off our list and then keep doing time walking stuff to get our time walking tokens, but only the stuff we've never done. No cheating and going and doing another mount off that I'll either crush or be horrendously embarrassed at. No in between. I feel like updating this section would also give them a good way to update the Teldrassil area to further mollify us upset Night Elf enjoyers. But I'm not expecting that to happen. What I am expecting to happen is more like a explanation for why the Alliance have a literal spaceship in orbit. You know, the Vindicar from Legion, remember that? Yeah, it's close enough. Like, we just have had that for about 10 years game time. And it pretty much never comes up, right? Like, there was the whole Fourth War, where the Lightforged even played a prominent role in the Alliance forces, but we didn't use the Vindicar for some reason. And then likewise, there've been a lot of, you know, world-ending calamities after that, where having a literal spaceship would have been super helpful. So I look at revamping this area from its, what's the math on this? 2007, 2009, 2010 era design to also kind of give a good in-universe explanation for where the Vindicar is, because I'm betting it's not in orbit. I'm betting it's probably parked in the Azure Mist Isles, because this is just me extrapolating from watching episodes of Star Trek. If these spaceships require something special to be able to work in space, and the Draenei do not have that special something, then they're not going to want to waste their spaceship as far as having it run out of gas up in orbit. They're going to want to bring it down to Earth and be, okay, let's see if we can find a way to power this thing again. And I guess in a way that would be a little bit of a retcon, because like the Lightforged Draenei have a class ability that supposedly calls down a laser blast from the Vindicar, which would imply it's in orbit directly above you, but never mind. I think they've got a lot of opportunity now that they've done both the Draenei Heritage Armor and the Redskin Draenei quests to kind of bring the Draenei more to the fore in the game. A lot of people talk about like elf fatigue, night elf fatigue. As a night elf player myself, I don't mind having night elves featured prominently every single expansion, but I can see why others would find that annoying. I would be game for the Draenei to play a much more prominent role in the Alliance, to be much more visible in that sense. Not to the degree where it crowds out my beloved Night Elves entirely, but I think the Draenei are ripe for a renaissance. I think they would be a really good fit for something new and cool. Alright, while we're in flight to Azure Ghost, I am having a little snack. And yes, it is very similar to my usual post-workout snack. And no, it's not because I've been working out. One of the things I do when I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, you know, as the saying goes, feed a cold, starve a flu. When I'm feeling a bit like I might have a little bit of a light cold, putting a malaise upon me, I kind of act like I've been having a heavy workout. You know, and so I'll stack a bit more protein in my diet than usual. I'll kind of modify what I eat to work in a yogurt, work in a bit more stuff like after I had a big workout, like on Workout Wednesday here at twitch.tv/thedeacons. Protein cookie plus yogurt. You can't beat that. But anywho, when it comes to a feeling of nervous system inflammation, nervous system, immune system inflammation, for me it's felt very similar to the kind of system-wide inflammation I feel after a really intense full body workout. Doesn't feel as good, but there's a similar kind of feeling of physical fatigue, of like running hot. I don't have a fever, thank God, but like, you know that feeling where it's like, do I have a fever? I feel like I'm running hot, but I don't have a fever. I'm just inexplicably feeling like I do. That's weird. That feeling can be the sign of a light cold, or it can be part of the afterglow of a really good workout. So I've had success in the past quickly recovering from the feeling like a cold might be coming on by just treating it like I've been working out, at least strenuously. It probably would have been faster if I had just dismounted in Darkshore and hopped on my Sonic Boom flying broom. But it is kind of chill. One thing we never do on stream, I surprised myself, is take flight paths because they're so slow and skywriting is so fun. But there is a nice nostalgia to this of just like, yeah, I remember this was the only way to fly. When if you wanted to get anywhere, you had to fly over the world. No loading screens. No loading screens. Just zone after zone. 20 years later, it is still one of the best parts about the game. Not the direct route, but the scenic route. Something we never do. Another surprise. Protein cookies do have a certain biscuit quality. They're not soft and fluffy like a Mrs. Fields. But 12 grams of protein from a tiny little cookie? Doubling the protein from this milk? Or this yogurt? Really good deal. If you're trying to get 225 grams of protein a day like I am, gotta take it where you can get it. They should just make, like, Quest chips exist, right? Protein chips. Doritos has got to get on this train. Because I can eat a whole bag of Doritos. I fucking love Doritos. But the macros on those chips are just fucking wretched. Just make protein Doritos. You'll fucking crush. Now the eventual trip to the bathroom later, that's the snapback from Doritos. And sometimes burritos, but more often Doritos, which I don't miss. That is the nice thing about eating very healthy. You just have really, really uneventful...
Make pee-pee.
You know, when you get that feeling, nothing really surprising or traumatizing happens. Like, yep, there we go. Body working the way it should. Another one of the really boring but really nice benefits of doing fitness. Eating well, working out, trying to get enough sleep. Whenever you're doing a
party,
it's just a chill vibe. No drama at that.
Party.
I love that drop.
Party.
I just love the way he says that. Fucking what an idiot. Anyway, it does look like some people have assembled. But I'm betting none of them are a tank. Shadow Priest? Yeah. Demonology? Yeah. They're probably in the group finder right now, so I should be too. Let's see. What did I have on the spoke? Nakey Jakey. We have not watched him on stream in a long time, but only because I had not had occasion to. I love me some Nakey Jakey. And this is not the kind of stuff we usually watch on stream, so I will count it as surprising.
Okay, so maybe that title is a bit hyperbolic, but just hear me out, okay? Apple,
Yeah.
Amazon, Meta, Google. Out of all of the soulless billion-dollar tech corporations that run our daily lives, Microsoft easily annoys me the most. Apple is definitely gonna gouge my eyes out with...
Please, Microsoft, please stop asking me to upgrade to Windows 11. I'm never going to do it. One of these days, you're going to do it to me.
At gunpoint. At gunpoint.
Because that's how I got Windows 10. But one of these days, you're going to do it to me, and I won't have a choice. But until then, I'm going to keep Windows 10. I'm not going to sign up for OneDrive. So you need to just knock that shit off, man. It gets really annoying.
their ridiculous pricing. But hey, at least I can rely on their products to actually function properly during my daily life.
Wait,
Amazon is run by what appears to be a literal real-life human.
Yeah, and that's right. I'm a war mode off enjoyer. After having war mode on for two entire expansions, I'm just not a war mode enjoyer right now. I'm enjoying the chill vibes of no war mode.
Super villain and has definitely negatively impacted our consumerist materialist culture of buy. But you're telling me this HDMI cord could be inside of my body in 20 minutes? Yeah, Bezos. Google is perfect, not evil at all. Please let me.
The other nice thing about Amazon is it makes it really easy for me to get cat food. I've got 7 hungry mouths to feed, and sometimes I just lose track of time and how much food I have, and look at the food and be like, oh shit, I'm going to be out of food by tomorrow morning. And then Amazon brings me more cat food before I even wake up. So, despite being a very evil company in many ways, you know, they also let me stream on their, on their platform, which is also nice. But on top of that, they feed my sweet babies.
We keep making my silly programs. I love you, mama. I'll be so sweet to you. And Meta. Okay, I might actually hate Meta the most, but at least on Instagram, I could send that one reel of the Monster Energy tattoo guys to my friends over and over and over.
By the way, we are about to get slammed in the face with a 90-second ad. The reason why that happens is because I want to disable pre-roll ads on my stream. Apparently, that's the devil's bargain you make. You either have pre-roll ads or you have mid-roll ads. And I want people that come here that aren't subbed to not be hit by an ad straight away. That's very unappealing. But that does mean that if you are unsubscribed, you will get slammed with a 90-second ad roughly every 32 minutes during the stream. But you know, if you've got like a Twitch Prime or something, you can avoid seeing that ad. And the ads aren't that bad, if I'm honest. I've seen a few of them. They're fun. They're funny. The Carfax one is weird. If you see the Carfax ad, you'll know the one I mean. That's a weird ad.
I mean, hell. But Microsoft, like, where do I even begin? Internet Explorer? Internet Explorer 2, the edging, Windows Vista, Windows 8, Windows Surface, Windows Phone, games for Windows Live, Xbox 360 Red Ring of Death, Xbox Connect, Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, Xbox One Series S, Xbox Stroke. Am I having one right now? How the fuck did they think these were a good idea for branding names? Master Chief didn't die for this.
Are you an Xbox One? Series D stands for Dottie. So cute, so good. So many teraflops. These are your 2 teraflops. You're flapping away.
I got a dog. I have friends and family that work at some of the many companies collected by Microsoft, and I do not think that they suck. Quite frankly, I think that they're the opposite of suck, which, as we all know, is coos. But Microsoft as a whole, in the big picture decisions and products and services they claim to provide.
Are you to be do joke onto me right now if in front of my dog?
The company that tries to monopolize every possible realm it enters. The company that
Ooh. I have a guest. One moment. Let's disable. All right.
tries to force feed the worst internet
That
browser ever down
was
your throat.
kind of weird. Remember how I was just talking about how Amazon brings me cat food? You'll never guess what just happened. An Amazon delivery that I was not expecting provided me with cat food just now. Just right now. So thanks for the much faster than anticipated delivery of cat food, Jeff Bezos' Amazon. And thank you for letting me stream on your platform. Smile.
For its wonderful security flaws in general, how you say not what.
Because you're listening right now,
the company
clearly.
who is
So,
hell-bent on collecting other
thank
companies
you.
like Pokemon gym badges with the fervor of a spoiled child's unquenchable, eternal, unyielding, infinite thirst for more. Give me more. Give me more.
Oh, I know I vibe with this guy. Him making a little PowerPoint thing here. This might be saying a little bit too much, but when I was a kid, I would make PowerPoint presentations for fun. Yeah. I remember specifically one time I was on vacation with my parents and I didn't have access to any video games at all. No Game Boy, No N64, no nothing. That's how young I was. But I did have access to my dad's work laptop that had PowerPoint on it. And so I made PowerPoint presentations for fun on vacation.
Microsoft forever changed the modern world with Windows. I grew up on Windows PCs.
What else I
because
got
my dad
here?
was always programming C-sharps and C++s at the ops for work, so us kids would get the hand-me-down PCs. I drew on the Cougar wallpaper in Paint. I flicked the Space Pinball guy's beam clean off.
Where was Dalaran originally located in the Eastern Kingdoms? Hillsbrad Foothills. Yeah.
Made the most badass edits of video
That's
games you've ever
right.
seen in Windows Movie Maker.
I know
And Windows has never
the
been perfect.
lore.
It has always been prone to blue screening and chugging and trying to off itself in various fun ways. XP
How
was
many
not this
more
perfect
badges do
fucking
I
ancient
need?
specimen
Not
to be
trinkets,
studied
but
in
armor.
Prometheus just because we're all nostalgic for it, okay? And having LimeWire Pro installed definitely didn't help.
40.
But now I also
Okay,
have this
15 to
gaming
go.
laptop that has Windows 11 on it, and it makes me afraid to
15
use
to
it
go.
near 11
What
Windows
else
because
do
I
I
might do a
have?
little toss out of it, huh?
Compared to even Windows 10, everything just feels like it takes longer to load and is harder to find. More and more options.
Which is why I don't want it. Interesting. I don't have a whole lot of time walking stuff left, and I do have a very narrow frame of time before 7 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and do the Secrets of Azeroth style event. I think that's my best way to get tokens while waiting for the next surprise event to start.
Are getting buried deeper and deeper into these advanced menus in some half-baked attempt to make shit more accessible, but really it's just made that shit more ass-edible. Hi, I'm 29. Copy and paste, the critical function that has been in this little menu since the beginning of Dinotopia Season 1. Yeah, they're cute little icons now. Aw, that's so adorable. I'm gonna throw up my lunch. Why does the refresh rate keep defaulting to 30 hertz? Most people don't even know what that is and aren't gonna know how to fucking change it because it's buried within these advanced menus.
This little bitch wants me to do updates every other second, and there doesn't seem to be an actual reliable way to disable automatic updates in Windows 11.
I tried disabling update services. I got all up in that registry. I moved to a cabin in the woods and somehow Michael found me. Stop it, Michael. Windows Vista, holy shista. Windows 7 was a brief beacon of light, but everything since has been a cacophony of clown-inspired buffoonery scientifically engineered to be as optimally annoying to me as possible. Do we even need to talk about Windows 8? You want to click on some panels, little dude? You want me to get you a Windows Surface RT for your birthday, little man? Which runs Windows RT, which looks exactly like Windows 8, except it's not. No, it's cool. You can only install apps directly from the store, and most of them aren't the right version. And dude, are you feeling okay? Little man, you barely touched your panels. Man, that guy's shirt looks cool as hell. Oh, god damn it, Clippy!
Ad
I'm
read.
the one who interrupts his videos, okay? Not you. Yeah, that's a good little paperclip. Roll up in
Ethical
your
reacts.
fucking bike. Fuck
Ethical
off.
reacts.
Hi,
We run
I'm
the ad.
Jakey, and Jake.
When we like the content, we run the ad.
Attorneys at law. Thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video.
Plus, Jakey does really good ad reads. I don't really much care for Opera GX, but he does great ad
Internet
reads.
browsers are so cool, amazing. Emails, images, websites to research if there's a demonic presence in your home. But this boring browser is putting me to sleep, and I really need to do that demonic research stuff. Opera GX is a web browser for gamers that is not boring, and you will listen this time, Duncan. I didn't forget, you little shit. Opera GX has GX mods that can totally switch your whole shit up. In the GX store, you'll find loads of mods, including the Nakey Jakey one. The mod has its own background music, its own keyboard sounds, its own opening and closing of tab sounds, its own theme and colors of the browser, its own dedicated wallpaper. You can also enable and disable individual mods in the mods menu located on the sidebar. With GX Control, I can limit the amount.
Let me tell you, Jakey, Chrome already has way too much customization for my taste. It keeps asking me to organize my tabs. I keep saying, fuck you. I'm going to have 50 tabs open at all times. You can't stop me.
CPU or RAM my demonic research web browser tabs get to use so that they don't hurt my gaming performance on top of my mental well-being. Other browsers hog up my resources like little pig hogs, but not Opera GX. Opera GX also comes with a quick import tool that lets you haul all of your stuff from your old browser, like browsing history, bookmarks for demon research sites, and cookies on over to Opera GX. It's also compatible with every Google Chrome extension. Thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video, and use my special link down below to download Opera GX today. After my wife left, I've been receiving mysterious emails.
Maybe it sees this, yeah. There we
To
go.
a website written
Wow.
and I clicked that link.
Wow, the guy really said, wait, where is it? Here it is.
Wow. Wow.
And my life has not been the same. There is someone or something else in this house. I can't prove it, but you have to believe in it. Speaking of internet browsers, do you remember that time when Microsoft was taken to court by the US government over antitrust claims that they were making it harder to install an alternative internet browser instead of their piece of shit Internet Explorer? And Microsoft doctored footage claiming that if you uninstalled Internet Explorer, it would make Windows run worse and slower, but the government was like, did you fake that? And they were like, yeah. And then they provided another video claiming how easy it was to install an alternative browser like Netscape. But whoops, that footage conveniently left out a really lengthy and difficult part of the installation process, and the government was like, did you fake that too? And they were like, yeah. I feel extremely fortunate that my daily work doesn't require Microsoft insert app name here that somehow gets worse with every iteration and doesn't do the things it's...
Yeah, like, this is one of my more bougie coded takes from my time working in an office job, but I really prefer Slack to Teams. If you have an opinion on Slack versus Teams, then you're a huge nerd.
It's literally made to do. I wrote this script in Google Docs for free with 0 issues. See, Google, I love you. Please let me keep my career. Let's talk about Microsoft Teams. Another case where Microsoft looked at something that someone else did and said, oh, I could do that too because I have money. Slack was popping off. Microsoft said, oh, let's do that too, but make it worse and include it for free in our Microsoft 365 bundle that a lot of businesses are already paying for. Obviously, those businesses trying to maximize profits are going to be like, why are we paying for Slack and Teams? Let's just use Teams. Slack usage goes down, they get acquired by Salesforce,
maybe it appears,
and then what do you know? Microsoft eventually removes Teams from the bundle after antitrust scrutiny in the EU. God, that's like the definition of it's like,
just gotta read, forehead.
It's like the name of a board game. Yahtzee, no, Balderdash. Oh, I got it. Betrayal at House on the Hill. Okay, but what really gets my panties into a honey bunch of oats is Microsoft's approach when it comes to gaming on my Roach. Roach as in my PC. Most of us use Windows to game because it's what most games natively run on and have run on for like a billion years.
Okay, so this
Windows
was what that was
necessary evil that's been grandfathered in by our forefathers getting multi-kills on Quake, which is fortunately changing with stuff like Linux and Proton. Shout out Valve and my Balatro, my Steam Deck. But every half-baked attempt Microsoft has made to capitalize on that massive existing gaming audience on Windows has only pushed that audience further away toward other avenues that actually work, namely Steam. I played Halo 2 for Windows Vista. I played Dark Souls Prepare to Use Games for Windows Live Edition, okay? Maybe you've heard about how bad Games for Windows Live was, and let me tell you, people are not exaggerating. The infinite logging in loops, the crashes, the absolutely iconic Microsoft trait of apparently needing an update, but I guess it didn't actually update, so it's just stuck in this infinite loop. That's where they got the name. The modern Xbox app on PC is marginally...
And they also ran Halo Infinite into the ground, sadly. Unfortunately. I liked Halo Infinite. I spent money on cosmetics in Halo Infinite, but it alas was bad long term. Too long didn't read, not enough content upgrades, not enough new stuff to do, not enough addressing problems with ranked play. A shame. A big shame.
better, and I actually have some positive stuff to say about Game Pass later on. But this app still just doesn't work
Wait,
how
so
it
there's
should, and half
more
the
for you to
time it
do
has to
down
be
here?
used in
Okay.
conjunction with the Microsoft Store app. Oh, golly gee. And now you're claiming Minecraft isn't even installed. All I want to do is play with my nephew. He's 8 years old and it works perfectly on his iPad. How is it this fuck it, we'll do it live. I'm playing on my phone. Like, if video games are practically my job and I struggle to troubleshoot this shit, what the fuck do you expect like a casual grandma gamer to do on PC? No offense to my CGGs out there, okay? Steam is far and above the preferred gaming platform on PC for most because it has that Apple trait of it just works for the most part. Everything is located in one app that intuitively makes sense to navigate regardless of your Radio Shack ELO. Xbox on PC mirrors the same pattern as Xbox on Xbox, and that pattern is the AK spray pattern from Counter-Strike aimed directly at their own football. I love Xbox. That's probably not the sentiment you're gonna walk away from this video with, but I have owned several. I've had the pleasure of many Xboxes and I loved them. But
probably
holy
this
shit,
thing, right?
Xbox has been scoring own goals for a while now, and it's extremely frustrating to spectate from the Rocket League stands. Xbox was the new kid on the block during the 6th generation and still managed to outsell the GameCube and Dreamcast, as adorable as they both are. And do you know the biggest reason why? I mean, do I even gotta say? It was the big ass it was the Duke, baby. Halo gave people a strong enough reason to buy an Xbox, and that's one game. Arguably the greatest console FPS game of all time, and holy shit, now I can play Halo Online with Halo 2 for a fee, which honestly, fuck Microsoft for that, but whatever. And thanks to Halo, Xbox would cultivate a solid base of gamers interested in more mature, cutting-edge PC-type games like Knights of the Old Republic, Fable, Splinter Cell, time-traveling cat fantasy, a home console that can run PC games without shitting itself. Sorry, PS2. Xbox is showing that they got something to say in the living room too. And then we get to the Xbox 360 era. Xbox came out swinging, launching their console a full year before Sony in November 2005 with a solid lineup of launch titles, but mostly Call of Duty 2. I remember playing this game in the Rushmore Mall in Rapid City,
Although Call of Duty 2 did fucking bang.
South Dakota, and just being absolutely blown away by how realistic the graphics looked in this opening scene. Even though now the lack of ray tracing in DLSS seriously makes me want to scream as loud as I can. And what's this? The Xbox gets another killer IP called Gears of War right as the PS3 launches a year later? F the PS3 and its $599 enemy crab. I don't want to play any of these games. The PS3 was more expensive. It had the confusing cell architecture that devs hated programming for and generally made multi-platform games run worse. It used the Spider-Man 3
It's actually very funny to see all the ways that Microsoft literally made the exact same mistakes that Sony made first. Like, Xbox comes to market and differentiates by doing a lot of things better than Sony at the same time. And so what do with their advantage, with their lead? They just make the exact same mistakes that Sony made. Well, Sony says, okay, well, thanks, Yoink. We're going to just go ahead and take your good ideas, and then we'll jump back into first again. Very annoying as an Xbox enjoyer.
font. It had 6-axis motion in the controllers, but no vibration because of a legal issue. Well, what do you expect me to pleasure myself with now, Sony? Well, one of these. The 360 in 2007 had monumental games like Halo 3 that you actually wanted to play. Even though OG 360s would eventually start red ringing of deathing themselves with a failure rate of 54%, which, Jesus Christ, only Michael could manage that shit. 360 at the time was the console to get. But even with all of this stacked against the PS3, it arguably ended up back on top by the end of the generation because Microsoft just had to be Microsoft. I mean, if we're being real, though, we absolutely shitted on both of them when it comes to sales, but we're not talking about that right now. The PS3 had a really rocky start, but said, all right, fuck all that. Let's hit a rebrand and a price drop. Let's do actually funny marketing with Kevin Butler. Let's bring back vibration with the DualShock 3. I know that's right. That's gonna feel good. But more important than any of this shit, let's do the PlayStation thing of having consistently high quality console-selling exclusives. Metal Gear Solid 4, Little Big Planet, Uncharted 2, God of War 3, Jason Shawn! Maybe not that last one, fucking that last one. Where my David Cagers at in the chat? Let's all go get Detroit tattoos. Meanwhile, the 360 is like, here's another Halo. Awesome. And here's another Gears of War. Right on. I like that too. And this time the console won't try to blow itself up. And please buy a Kinect. Beyond the two souls of Halo and Gears of War, shout out motherfucking David motherfucking Cage, there weren't these massive, never before seen Uncharted 2 sized exclusives getting you to race out and buy an Xbox as the generation went on. Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts? Blue Dragon? Forza? I've loved Forza. I've always loved the Forza series, but I also love Gran Turismo. Also, I really don't want to come off as biased for any of these brands because fuck console wars. The whole idea of being loyal to a brand that doesn't give a shit about you is like the most embarrassing shit ever. Both of these guys would cut your head off in a second if it made their quarterly earnings go up. Stop pre-ordering games. They only care about your money. Only pre-order David Cage games. At the end of the day, everybody just wants to make money, including me, which is why Ball Creative partnered with those Jakey fucks to make some high quality garments. T-shirt featuring brilliant illustration by my cousin John. Thank you, John. I love you, John. Printed on LA Apparel 6.5 heavy blanks. That might not mean anything to you, but they're like my favorite blank of t-shirt. Turned out great. Call My Lawyers embroidered crew neck. That's right, embroidered. Also printed on LA Apparel heavyweight blanks. If you know,
would it be inside or would they expect you to fly up here? Is really what I'm wondering about. Like, I almost feel like they would expect you to go poking around up here, right? Like, because this is pretty close to 7-Eleven, east and north. I'm gonna have to check Wowhead just to make sure I'm not completely misunderstanding.
You got like the rom-com merch, it's that shit, it's that heavy, delicious. They turn out great. If you're interested, ballcreative.store, powered by Xbox One Series J, attorneys at law, Master Chief Edition. Let's get back to the shit. I loved my Xbox 360, okay? But let's be real. Exclusives like Viva Pinata and Halo Wars don't exactly sell consoles like the last
Hold up. I'm not going to let anyone ever talk shit about Viva Pinata. Viva Pinata was fucking sick. And if you don't know... If you don't think it was sick, that means you didn't play it, because it was a wonderful, amazing game. I can't explain why it was amazing, because if I tried, you wouldn't be able to understand. It's one of those games that you truly have to play to understand why it's so good. Viva Pinata fucking rules.
Does. See, the thing that Microsoft would look at all this and go, okay, it seems like having really high quality exclusive games is pretty crucial to selling console to then play said games.
Gotta check
so with
my
that
guild
said,
chat
here's
here
a
real
fugly ass
quick.
media box you can watch stuff on. That's what you think of when you think of Xbox, right? Not the fucking Melee Covenant sound, but the watching The Price is Right, right? Also, it's gonna require the Kinect to be plugged in at all times, and you can't share game discs anymore.
Just trying to not show guild chat on stream, because people in my guild didn't consent to having guild chat shown on stream. Gotta be nice.
With your friends, and oh yeah, we're gonna call the Xbox One to confuse the shit out of the CGGs out there. Sorry, Nana, your KD is fucked, you senile silver too. Xbox would go back on the can't share discs thing and the Kinect always having to be plugged in because people rightfully lose their shit. But Microsoft still launches Xbone forcefully bundled with Kinect in November 2013 for $499.
A really bad call.
So what exclusives have you cooked up, Microsoft? Another
Nothing
Forza?
good.
Okay, I like Forza. So what's coming in like the next year? Oh,
Nothing.
more Halo by 343. Oh, it's the OG games remastered with like multiplayer playlists. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, that has my attention. Oh, it doesn't work. It like really doesn't work. Your flagship franchise used to sell consoles doesn't fucking work even when it's old games being repackaged. Just imagine for a second if Nintendo released a Mario game and he just couldn't jump. He just spent the whole game looking for a server to not jump on. Whether it's on 343 or Microsoft, and I strongly lean towards it being on Daddy Microsoft, you can't release your main shit and have it be this bad. And I don't care that the collection is great now, that trash was unacceptable. Phil Spencer would become head of Xbox in March of 2014 and inherit the shit show that was the Xbox One. And Phil made some great decisions given what he was handed. He deleted the Kinect from the console bundle and dropped the price down to $399. He made a huge push for backwards compatibility, which is amazing to this day that you can play like OG Xbox games at higher resolutions and frame rates. It's awesome. He hit a console redesign with the Xbox One S, which even though I hate the names for these things, I really love this console. It's really hard. I really love this console. I think she's very well built. I think she's adorable. I mean, obviously she withstood that. We got some ports, but his main big idea is Game Pass. Phil said, Xbox isn't just a box anymore, you silly bastards. It's a games service. A monthly service to play a bunch of games to your heart's desire, sort of like a Netflix for games, except your ex-girlfriend's boyfriend isn't still using your login on his Roku TV. It became increasingly clear that Xbox wasn't planning on winning customers by having console exclusives. Seriously, this is the Wikipedia page for games exclusive to only the Xbox One for the
And a lot of those real stinkers.
entire generation. Meanwhile, PS4 is like
Double kill. Triple kill. Overkill. Bloodborne again because I bought a PS4 just to play that game and it was worth the $400.
Microsoft started doing the whole Xbox plus PC thing where any exclusive Xbox game would also be on PC. Well, apparently except certain games like Halo 5. They needed that one to be a system seller. Halo 5, Guardians, oh man, the campaign just sucks, and I really think that 343 is a really talented team, but they just fully missed the bar aesthetically when it comes to Halo 4 and 5. The multiplayer, while it didn't really feel like Halo, it felt really fresh and new and snappy, and you have the dodge move, and I actually played the shit out of it, but like, bro, this is Halo. This is supposed to be the exclusive. It can't just be or an underrated gem talked about years later by video essayist fucks like me. Again, imagine if Nintendo made a Mario game and he had to run around the castle in this fug-ass armor. Xbox does pretty bad this generation, all said and done, but let's wipe away all that. Fresh restart. What do we have prepared for next gen, Phil?
An obelisk. It's pretty great, honestly. I love my Xbox Series X.
Why do you do this, Microsoft? Why do you insist on having the most confusing branding possible? Why couldn't you even just stick with Xbox Scarlet or call it Xbox 720 like everyone wanted to? Fuck it. Call it the Xbox 5, even though it doesn't make sense, because at least people at the store will see PS5, oh, Xbox 5, that must mean it's the new one. There are people still confused on whether they should buy an Xbox One S or an Xbox Series S, and also you realize how phonetically similar S and X sound.
Oh yeah, man, wanker. Good for you, bud. Here, I'll give you a moon plant for that. Good for you,
right,
bud.
Michael? The series consoles are actually amazing deals for their price points and are really well made, and I actually prefer the Xbox controller over any other controller when playing
And full credit to you, this is Surprise Saturday, and that was very surprising.
modern games. But holy shit, Microsoft, you are so bad at marketing. Okay, f the names, who even cares? What kind of games do we have cooking up for this generation, Phil? Halo Infinite is gonna be a launch title, and it's open world, and there's a grappling hook? This actually looks fun as hell. I can't wait to try it out. Wait, but it's on the back of my box. And the thing is, when Infinite finally came out, I thought it was really good, and I'm sure it definitely needed that extra year of development time, considering that when it came out, it was still missing core features like co-op. But the multiplayer is some of the best it has ever been, and it's free. The new abilities and grappling hook are amazing. The open world campaign scale and length are a bit of a letdown, but the actual gameplay and visuals and sound truly feel like Halo for the first time in years. I played the shit out of this on my PC that I already own using Steam. Like many PC gamers, I've already invested so much time and money into my Steam library, so if I'm gonna play something on PC, I'm likely gonna seek it out in my familiar ecosystem, habitat, enclosure, if you will. PS5 launches with exclusive games that I want to play, and promise sequels to IPs that I want to play. So if I already have a PC, and I'm gonna drop $400 on a console, and Xbox is putting their games on Steam, where exactly does Xbox come into this picture? Are they just like a publisher now? You'd think they'd want to put...
I mean, the real answer to that is the idea is that the value proposition for Game Pass on Xbox specifically is so good that it's worth having the Xbox as like a Game Pass machine. Because Game Pass on your PC is pretty good, but Xbox Game Pass is the best version of it. And so I think that's kind of what they want the Xbox to be. You buy either the Xbox Series S or Series X, you subscribe to Game Pass, and then you play the free games available on Game Pass. And you just don't actually buy games for it because they don't make any exclusive games for it. But there's so many free games available on Game Pass already. It's kind of like the most premium version of one of those like ads you see on X the Everything app where it's like, hey, here's a little box that's got hundreds of thousands of games on it that are basically just emulators that we all piled in here. Here you go. Like the Xbox is that. Here's all these great Xbox games from over the Xbox's lifetime, and then the new ones that we meagerly squirt out every quarter. Just pay $10 a month or whatever it costs, and there you go. And I guess that is a way you can have a console work, but for old fogies like me and Jakey, it's not very appealing.
Really desirable exclusives only on Xbox services to try to get people to buy an Xbox over a PS5, or at least use the shitty Xbox app over Steam. But no, instead, what does Xbox do? Buy and buy that too. Microsoft will acquire you. We don't need to make good games. We have so much money. We have so much fucking money. Mojang, 2.5 billion. ZeniMax, 7.5 billion. Activision, Blizzard King, 69 billion. Shutting down studios and laying off a ton of devs, even though the FTC said, hey, don't do that after you acquired this whole thing. Yeah. Priceless. But there is a price. The price is right. Watch it on Xbox all night. Keep it tight. I'm so confused by this strategy, because it's like you own all these popular IPs now, but you don't want to make them exclusive and miss out on the massive multi-platform revenue because Xbox is like the smallest consumer base. So eventually these IPs might become exclusive, and inevitably Microsoft being Microsoft would jack up the price of Game Pass because, again, $69 billion. And again, this is Microsoft we're talking about. Remember the Windows Vista September? Oh, the price of Game Pass already increased after Microsoft spent so much fucking money to put games like Diablo and Call of Duty on there? Cool, got it. Awesome, wicked sick. But even with this current price, Game Pass remains a really convincing deal if you're just now getting into gaming, because...
Wow, I was right, $10. Like, that's a pretty good value prop for $10. And for $5 more, get even more games. You don't gotta go Ultimate. Standard is good enough.
Price, Game Pass remains a really convincing deal if you're just now getting into gaming, because there is a serious bang for your buck backlog of great games on there. But that's just not the case for so much of the existing gaming audience. Dude, we've played a lot of these games, and you're not gonna get new people who have never played these games if they don't even know which fucking console to buy at Best Buy. Phil Spencer has said a lot of things, and there is no shortage of quotes that you could take out of context that are really clickbaity, like how he passed up on super successful franchises like Guitar Hero or Destiny, or how his email dream is to one day acquire Nintendo. He seems like a nice enough guy who does genuinely love video games and making them as accessible to as many people as possible, which is fantastic. I mean, he's still likely a multi-millionaire who's got to keep his job regardless of Xbox's missteps, while others did not get to keep their jobs, and certain studios are just straight up in the ground now because, whoops, we spent too much money acquiring you, now we will be firing you. And one of the many quotes that Phil has said is, we're not in the business of out-consoling Sony or out-consoling Nintendo. There isn't really a great solution or win for us. I know that will upset a ton of people, but it's just the truth of the matter. When you're third place in the console marketplace and the top 2 players are as strong as they are and, in certain cases, have very discrete focus on doing deals and other things, make being on Xbox hard as a team. That's on us, not on anybody else. Our vision is that everybody that's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console shares shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation when everybody built their digital library of games. Phil, I strongly disagree. Not about the Xbox One failing part. That one is for sure facts, but the other games part. The games are the whole freaking thing. It's why I'm screaming at a camera right now.
I was choking on that take.
Because
I was choking on that god-awful take.
Literally sold consoles with 0 prior brand recognition. The Switch is an underpowered 720p looking ass piece of shit tablet that still obliterates Sony and Microsoft when it comes to sales.
Because of the games.
Why? The moving pictures that I control with my hands. Every new Nintendo console requires you to say bye-bye to your prior digital library of games you've purchased. But guess what? We all fucking do it anyways because we gotta see that boy in red. Xbox is a Microsoft company that has proved time and time again that they don't give a shit about polish or consistency or trust with their consumers. So it's like, yeah, you might be in a hole, but you didn't magically get there overnight, Shia LaBeouf. There's a reason I still pay for Max or Hulu, or my ex-girlfriend's boyfriend does, and I use their login on my Roku TV. I pay for Hulu to watch exclusive shows like The Bear. I pay for Max to watch exclusive shows like Barry for the billionth time. I don't pay for Game Pass or use the Xbox app to play Starfield. I don't play Starfield on Steam either. I don't want to play any more Starfield. Please don't make me play more Starfield.
No one wants to play Starfield.
I want Elder Scrolls to be good, and I believe in you, but don't make me play Starfield. I truly hope Xbox continues to exist and Game Pass remains a good deal for as long as possible. I hope studios like Bethesda and Blizzard put out more classics while under the umbrella of Xbox, even though other studios will no longer ever get that chance because they're literally dead. We need good games on Xbox and Xbox Game Pass because we need good competition. But what we really need is to put every David Cage game on Game Pass. David Cage's Rise Up. Thank you for watching my video. Ball Creative Game Pass subscriptions available at ballcreative.store. Dottie says she wants you to put a chicken treat in the chat or she will scream as loud as she can. Keep it up, keep it hard, keep it strong, and keep it scarred. I will see you next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Another banger from Nakey Jakey. So what we're about to do, we're about to do a little heroic pug raid with randoms. There is a lot of my guild in here, but I was not able to stream on Tuesday because of a very annoying power outage. Tuesdays are usually my best performing days, by the way. I usually get the most viewers on Tuesday. I raid on Tuesday. You know, Tuesday is kind of a big day for me. So having no power until 10 p.m. that night was a huge fucking drag. And of course, that was the same time Porthos was having troubles with his eye, making me very scared for him. Glad he's definitely doing much better now. That makes me very happy. And even though Bernard does seem to be under the weather, he is at least taking time to eat a little bit of food and drink a little bit of water. So I think he's just got a kitty cold. And so if he wants to spend the third night in a row inside the stream room tonight, he absolutely can. Because he's certainly much better behaved than the Musketeers. As much as I love them, once they enter the stream room, the stream becomes all about them. which frankly it should, because they're amazing. In fact, while we wait for the raid to come together here, I did take a few fun pictures during last night's stream. Since I've not been able to set up a proper kitty cam, much to the chagrin of my audience, I did take some pictures during the stream. I guess that's as big as I can make it. Guildenstern came inside, and so the Musketeers gathered around to hear a story from their auntie. The heating dish was a big hit. And of course, little Porthos, his eyes doing so much better now. My sweet boy, he's finally doing so much better. D'Artagnan and Athos just racked out, just snoozing. And of course, Aramis and Porthos chilling in my lap during the stream. Like, how could I possibly raid or do Mythic Plus with that just a foot from my face? You know? I have to give them pets when they look at me like that. My sweet babies. So on the one hand, yes, when I let them into the stream room last night, the stream immediately ground to a halt for an hour of wrestling with the babies. But is that really so bad? I would argue it's not. I would argue it's good, actually, my sweet babies. Now, I should probably also get in Discord. It's kind of rude to not be, if we're being real. If we're being really real. And we gotta be really real all the time. I'm gonna die, I believe, but that's fine. Getting in Discord's more important.
Probably a decent player.
Yeah. If this is your first time, let me let that play. If this is your first time watching me do raid content, there will be one voice that you will hear very clearly, and that is my guild's raid leader. And you may hear other voices faintly off in the distance. And they are the other people in Discord whom I do not need to listen to. The only people I need to listen to during a raid is the raid leader. Although I might have to turn a few people down if we're getting some new people in here. This is what happens when you miss the easy breezy Tuesday farm, where you can clear the whole raid in literally 1 hour. You gotta pug it. And we have never done a pug heroic raid this season on stream before. We're doing it now. We're gonna do it right now. There's not even a lot of gear left for me to get from the raid, to be honest. It's mostly off Queen Ansarek at the end, which you might not even get to do. But one of the aspects of the vault is that one of the reasons why you want to fill it out as much as possible is occasionally a vault piece will drop with a tertiary effect, like this one that has leech. And if you find yourself opening your vault on Tuesday and there's nothing good there, something like a socket or a tertiary can make something very appealing. We do have some new people in here. Let me make sure I've got people dialed down. Cool. should probably get on my mount just in case anybody needs anything.
You wanna clear them, you know, in the path to where you're gonna soak.
Yeah.
So like things I honestly I feel like the mythic strat is just cleaner and better, you know, bring him right to where we're standing, and then so just like throw a mark right there, and that's where the soak goes. So then you're supposed to clear between the boss and the soak point.
Bringing the mythic strat to the heroic raid. Yeah, it's the first boss. It's cool. We can just grip it and rip it, man. We can just fucking slam it, yo. Look at all these $90 Brutosaurs with their weird blue glowing eyes. Their Horde and Alliance themed armor. Got nothing on the OG. Got nothing on the classic. Although it is nice to have a mailbox here. Like with most things, rather than having them compete, they complement each other very well. One has a mailbox, the other has a way to repair your gear. Have one in each raid. Don't be weird about it. And yeah, normally for our ambiance music we do something World of Warcraft related. But I was feeling something a little bit jazzier than usual. And I couldn't find anything World of Warcraft that had a bit of a jazz tilt to it. So here we are. Let's apply our various oils. Oiled up and ready to go. I'm breaking one of my cardinal rules here by pre-targeting the boss. One thing you never do as a hunter is pre-target the boss. And frankly, you also face away from the boss. Hunters are the most common accidental pullers. And so we need to take extraordinary steps to not embarrass ourselves.
So take it to blue. You even come soak as the tank, Lucian, by the way. The boss will stay there while he's doing that. And so even the tanks can go soak.
Watch your step.
So
So good. Ready to run back?
Cooldowns actually line up really well with his build. Unlike the Sentinel build, the cooldowns actually line up exceedingly well here. It looks like Dark Ranger is the new hot for a reason.